Spider-Man. So, you know, it's kind of funny when I think back to like Xbox One and PS4, and there's a lot of confusion over stuff around Xbox One, because I feel like just as a more of a, you know, independent person, because I'm not that wedded to either console, I feel like a lot of stuff that Sony's doing recently is causing confusion. And the whole thing around, you know, Spider-Man Miles Morales is that people are sort of going, okay, you know, if you get the ultimate version, you get Spider-Man, the remastered game. And it's not just like Spider-Man, a port. It's like they've actually gone in, changed the textures, you know, brought it up like to a higher resolution, all this kind of stuff, right? But then obviously people are going, well, hang on a second. I'm not actually interested in Miles Morales. Like, how do I just get Spider-Man? And Sony's response, when I read it, it made me laugh so hard. I'm going to read it out, and I'm going to try to read it very accurately.
Please do.
Just so that everyone can follow along very clearly at home. So this is from Sony. These are their words. Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered is an enhanced version of Marvel's Spider-Man and is included as part of Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition for the PlayStation 5. In addition, players who purchase Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales on PlayStation 4 can upgrade at no additional cost to the PlayStation 5 version of Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales and take advantage of a paid upgrade to download Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered. There are no plans currently to offer Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered as a standalone. Players with a copy of Marvel's Spider-Man for PS4 can purchase Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales Ultimate Edition to experience Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered on PS5. Marvel's Spider-Man for PS4 also will be backwards compatible on PS5. I was just like, really? This is their statement?
I've got one question. So, who makes Spider-Man?
That is interesting that they have to write Marvels.
Well,
that must be part of the deal now or something like that.
It just made sense with Avengers because Avengers is just like a one word, although I think the Avengers would have sounded better. But Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales is just like the most tongue-twisting game. But just actually reading what they've said here. So they said there's no plans currently to offer Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered as a standalone on PS5.
Yeah.
I call bullshit on that, right?
So you don't think they will? They will offer it eventually?
They will sell that separately because I've been...
100%, I agree.
They did that exact same thing, not Sony. I guess is Activision. Whoever publishes the South Park games, the RPGs. I can't remember who the publisher is.
Do you mean the developer or do you mean...
the publisher.
Oh, I can't remember the publisher.
Anyway, when they were basically... Because I pre-ordered South Park Fractured But Whole. I had to put a space there.
Which, again, I didn't know what that was until I was on the phone with you and said it to you.
Because the only way to get Sticker True for Xbox One...
Oh, Ubisoft. Ubisoft is the publisher.
The only way to get it was to pre-order the sequel. And then a couple of months later, you can just purchase it. I would pre-order the sequel for full price. Like, no, because, you know, me as an achievement hunter, I'm like, well, if I don't pre-order it, I'm not going to be able to get it because it's a pre-order. It's not like you can just...
But I thought you said that was against the rules.
No, that's a separate thing we're talking about. That's within the game itself. But anyway, like, this is, like, they said you had to pre-order the sequel to get the Xbox One version of the first game. And that they backflipped on that so quickly. And I'm like, and I just spent this freaking day one money on this thing. So Sony's definitely going to offer it standalone, like, at some point. Why?
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. Like,
so I 100% agree with you. I think I would... I don't even know what I'd bet. I'd bet all the Amiibo cards in the world that I'm going to end up buying that, you know, they're going to release it in 6 months' time, 12 months' time as a standalone purchase on the store. Makes zero sense. And even the fact that they wrote, there are no plans currently to offer Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered as a standalone. It's like, guys, this is so transparent. Like, it's such a PR statement and such a bad PR statement, to be perfectly frank. Because it's so confusing. Someone wrote a flowchart of how it all worked. And I'm like, that's funny. And then I think even Xbox marketing, which I'll say the Xbox social media team have been doing a pretty good job with Xbox. Like, there's a lot of funny stuff that they've been doing recently. And just around, like, I think they put that question out there for them and they just said, just buy the game. And just kind of like laughing about it, which is true though, because this is just, I don't know, it's just really grubby. And, you know, there's a lot of folk that are really into this stuff. And I know some people who are really into Spider-Man and they're really actually keen to play it again on PS5. And now they're like, oh, do I have to order like the Ultimate Edition? Because, you know, in Australia, you know, we actually have pretty good game prices for standard editions, much better than America, I'd say. And even when you convert it to US dollars. But when you start getting into the special editions, we're way more expensive than the States. So for a lot of people, like, it's going to cost them so much more. It's not just like $20 like some people are saying in America. For Australia, it's going to cost them like US equivalent, like $40 more to try to get this game. So yeah, I agree to you. The one thing I would say is, I'm not sure if they're going to do something like if you had the PS4 Marvel's Spider-Man game, you can pay a little bit extra to get the remastered version on PS5. I think it's not going to matter. I think in like 12 months time, it's just going to be a standalone purchase. Doesn't matter if you had the old one or not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, all I know is between Control, this, and whatever else that I'm just sick of hearing about all these things. Like, to me, as much as it wouldn't be great for consumers to get stuff for free, I just wish that it's like, well, if you want the game on a new console, you purchase it. Like, it just would have made things so much easier. Like, I'm just sick of hearing about it.
Well, and, you know, I kind of understand, and I'm more, you know, this is not smart for like a podcast, right? To be anti-consumer, but because I'm usually more pro-business, but, you know, I look at it and just go, they're very sensitive around it, because I'm already seeing a lot of threads of people who are like, I've seen people who aren't on either. They don't have a PS4, they don't have an Xbox One, right? And they're going, oh, I'm going to buy the PS4 version of Horizon Zero Dawn because it's cheaper and you can get it on sale, and then you're going to get the PS5 version anyway. So, like, people are getting a bit sneaky and tricky with this stuff, and this is kind of why they're a bit sensitive to it. And you know, even in some occasions, I've seen some stuff where the PS4 versions are more expensive than the PS5 versions, which I thought was quite funny. But yeah, look, I'm probably in the same camp as you. I'm just like, guys, like, you know, you bought it on the PS4, you can always play it in backwards compatibility mode, and it looks awesome. And they're going to have enhancements and boost modes and stuff like that anyway. So I don't know, we're not like the biggest graphics, you know, people, so it's probably part of it as well. Hey,
yeah, what this whole thing is really telling me is that a lot of people expect stuff for free.
Oh yeah, definitely. But it's becoming a bit of a. There's a lot of companies that have done that stuff for free, and then, you know, it's kind of set this crazy expectation.
And that's the thing, is that's awesome. I love that they've done that, but the fact that now everyone expects it, and I'm not a fan of. It's like, well, and this kind of like, again, we've talked about it. Like, I've bought the same game multiple times. But that's because I wanted to. Like, I wasn't expecting just because I, you know, like, have one version of the game, I can play it in the next generation. It's just, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, you know, in a game that I'm very passionate about, Rocket League, there's I'm actually kind of a little bit disgusted and quite shocked at some people where people were like writing in and trying to get refunds for Rocket League. I was like, what? Like, and to the point where like some people had bought it like 2 years ago and now trying to get a refund for it. I'm like, what planet are you on? Just because the game's gone free to play now, you've had 2 years of being able to play it. Like, how is it possible? I thought it was almost a joke, but no, it's real. Like, there's a sizable contingent of people that just feel like they've been ripped off or something. It's just bizarre to me. It's like not how the world works at all. So, unfortunately, I think we're going to see a lot more stories like this. And, you know, the companies like CD Projekt Red with the free upgrades to remastered versions, I think that's probably going to be the rarity rather than what's common outside of Xbox and the smart delivery system.
Well, I think we'll pick and choose which ones we talk about if they've got an awesome quote like Spider-Man had.
Yeah. I mean, once I saw that quote, I had to talk about it. And, you know, Spider-Man's probably one of the biggest games from a, you know, especially just the mainstream and getting out of the real sort of enthusiast sort of space with gaming. Like there's a lot of people that got onto PlayStation 5 because of Spider-Man. So, all right, well, let's move on to some more of the niche topics.